Hi everybody, welcome to Mindful Message number 3 and the last of the day. This one's also a bit heavy. I decided to just rip the band-aid and do all the heavy topics all in one day. I covered how to help yourself stand back up after sexual assault. The second one was about physical and mental abuse. And this one is how to overcome and process betrayal, sabotage, basically any kind of situation where you are just completely devastated by a life situation or person. Again, this is very generic and I'm giving you multiple different things because what works for someone else isn't going to work for everybody. So I'm just overall panning out on a large scale and to help you process this. First of all, when we are betrayed, when we are sabotaged, when our heart is broken, when we are just completely blindsided, the rug's pulled out, you fall on your ass, the first thing is why? What did I do? Why did you do this to me? You either go one way or the other or both sometimes. How could you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? What did I do to deserve this? Acknowledge it. It's when we just sit and we think it over and over and over, and we slip into that depression that it becomes toxic. Or we feed into it and we become angry and bitter and jaded and we lash out and we self-sabotage and we lean on crutches that aren't good for us. That's also toxic. So how do you face it healthy? How do you face it correctly without getting one way or the other, too angry or too depressed? When someone breaks your heart, what exactly is the happy medium? Guess what? Newsflash, there is no happy medium. There is not an up or a down either. The scale is going to vary every day in different ways. Stop looking left. Stop looking right. Stop listening to how other people processed the situation you are in. As in, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to you. I can't believe they did that to you. How could they do that if they love you so much? I mean, this is going to happen because they're good people and they care about you and they're in your corner. But sometimes this adds stoke to your own personal fire and you burn your own life down because of it. These are the things that you go and you talk to your friends about it and you get more upset and maybe you're out drinking. You see the person, you have this big blowout fight, hands are crossed, if you will, and the popas get involved. Hot-headedness can come from other people in the pot. So, but at the same time, you need to vent and process. So I would be very wise and selective in who you are discussing this pain and trauma with. Now, our besties are always going to be like, fuck them, you don't need them, you're awesome, it's their loss, and those are absolutely pep talks that you need. But understand the pep talk you need for the time you're in. If you are tearful, if you need to cry out, then you're going to need to speak with somebody who can help you process those emotions. If you need a pep rally, if you need to get your Stella got her groove back moment, if you need to get your confidence back, then you go to that person who pumps you up. Understanding what you need in the moment is key, and that's hard to do when your heart and your mind is all over the place. I find in the beginning, most people, this is when the depression, they'll either go one of two ways. They'll act completely normal and make the most of their life, filling every moment they can so they don't have a moment free to sit around and think and worry about shit. Or they're too busy painting the picture of how okay they are. They're not really processing at all within themselves. Or it hits them like a ton of bricks. They cry, they don't want to leave their house, they stop taking a shower, they're in their PJs, they're sleeping all day, eating all day, or not eating. It becomes crippling in the opposite. Again, there's no happy medium. Some days you're going to want to stay in bed and cry, and the other days you're going to be raged out yelling. But my point is, you have to process and acknowledge and face those shadows. We can't blame ourselves for why things went wrong, but we do need to own our own responsibility in things. Granted, most betrayals really don't have anything to do with you and everything to do with the other person and how they're feeling in their life and their lack of communication skills. I find a lot of times people cheat because they need affection, they want attention, and they're not getting it. And instead of using their words, which would be better for the relationship, but let's face it, human beings aren't known for the best actions, and they do something stupid, and because of it, they destroy relationships, and it was all due to emotional feeling. My point is, don't become like the person who abused you, who lashed out and did something out of anger or because they were feeling bad. Then you're only going to make yourself the victim more. You're giving more of your power to that person. And I know this is so hard, and it's so hard to hear, especially when you're going through it, but forgiveness is key. I could sit around and be angry for the rest of my life at my exes, and every time I'm sitting there angry and thinking about all the things that they have done, I am relinquishing my power over to them, creating that tether from me to them, and they don't deserve to be tethered to me. They betrayed me, you know what I mean? So you need to free yourself by, you know what? That happened. I acknowledge it. You broke my heart. And I'm going to, eat some ice cream. I'm going to cry about it for a couple days. I'm going to get myself back up. There will be somebody out here who will be a better friend or who will love me the way I deserve to be loved. Confidence is key. And that not everybody is born with that. I have to work at my confidence every day. That's why I take care of myself. I'm practicing self-love every day. So the best thing you can do is in those moments when you want to just crawl in bed and cry and not do your hair and look like shit, get up, get dressed, make yourself look nice. The opposite in that case, if you want to rage out and be angry, then you go meditate and give yourself a sound bath. So one, you don't make an action out of emotion that's going to make it worse. And two, you're teaching yourself how to properly maintain the pain. Because it really is about maintaining until you can see the clarity of the situation. It's that moment where peace and stillness comes back to your life when you realize that relationship wasn't as great as I thought it was. Or that person, we might have had a good thing, but it was all fake. I want the real thing. I deserve the real thing, and I'm going to put my energy into that. You're seeing the clarity of it after the pain and the anger has gone. You're realizing all the little telltale red signs you couldn't see in the beginning because you were caught up. The facts. They can either piss you off or they can bring you clarity. It really depends on the stage you're in. Don't allow yourself to dwell too much in one or the other. Keep it moving. If you're really sad and depressed, go to the gym and punch the punching bag. And instead of being sad and having no energy, get that aggression out. If you are constantly punching the punching bag and you have all this aggression and you need a emotional release, then you need to go home, listen to music that's going to help you trigger your feelings and release them. You are your best asset when it comes to dealing with pain. I have been through a lot in my life, and I find the better I know myself and the more able I am to sit down and be real with myself, be 100% truthful, bitch, you're being extra. You're walking around here with a stank-ass attitude because your heart's broken. You need to check thyself. I have that moment with myself. I have those bitchy days where my heart is broken and I'm just like, fuck the world and everybody in it and blah! And I have to literally correct myself. That ain't the right way to be. And then those moments where I'm eating my face off. Here I am working hard on my diet. I'm stuffing all these sweets in my face because I'm sad. And I have to be like, you know what? Stop it. You've done all this hard work on your body. Just because our feelings are fucked up right now doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and eat this whole thing of cinnamon buns. It's hard to close the lid, but I do. You know what I mean? I have to keep checking myself. And those days like today where I didn't want to get out of bed, I forced myself. Get your bitch ass up out of bed. I will drill sergeant my own self. You have to be that. If you can do that, you can get through anything. You are going to be okay.